I know a lot of people back home want to know exactly how do you get started with trucking? How do you guys get started making a business? As you guys know, I've made multiple six figures with trucking. I've made six figures with landscaping. And so I've had different types of business. I'm also an entrepreneur. And but I started off with nothing. I started off just a young kid, not even with his mom or dad. But I built myself past that, and I've gotten mentors, and I stay with my mentors to be able to level up and to have the type of mindset to get past roadblocks in life, which is inevitably going to come to you guys. So entrepreneurship has been in my background, but I wanted to ask you, um, has entrepreneurship been in your family? Is your family, mom and dad, were you raised traditionally entrepreneur, or what? Were you just come from a traditional working model,
That's
which
a
that's cool too. You know, a traditional working model as far as mom and dad clocking in every day, 40 hours a week. Is that more of your background, or is it?
that's a great question. I would say mine was more the traditional route. My parents both worked full time for many years. My mom was at her company for about 30, 35 years, and my dad around the same.
Yeah.
He switched companies when they like moved out of the country, for example, but he still was in the same industry for like 40 years. So I looked at that. I saw how they worked a lot of overtime. Every day of the week, they were working to provide for a great lifestyle. So I grew up with that.
Yeah.
So the entrepreneurship, that was like a strange topic for me. I had never been around anybody that had their own business,
Yep.
um, other than seeing like maybe close family friends that were pursuing something on the side, for example. My sister, she had her own business with the moon jumping company.
See, there you go.
So that was really, I got to see that from like pictures and videos that she was doing because she lived in another state of Georgia. So that's all the experience I've ever dealt with, honestly, with entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Nothing on my own that I was doing.
Well, like you said, your sister, she was doing the you said, what was
It
it?
was called a moonwalking business.
Can you explain exactly what is that?
Moonwalking would be like almost like I guess they call it air bounce now, an air bounce house where you would bring it to, let's say, someone's family party, and the kids would rent it. The family would rent it for their children, birthday parties,
Oh,
so the
like a
kids would have
bouncer.
like a bouncer. Exactly, that's
Okay.
exactly what it is. So they would jump around for hours, and
Uh-huh.
her business was called A&D Jumpers at the time. So the kids would jump around, have a great time, and they would just move this to location, whoever they booked with. So she kept that going for many years.
Exactly. That seems like that was a fun idea to come up with,
Yeah, that was
especially
a great idea she
for the
came up with.
kids. Well, around what age were you when she had this going?
I was actually, I believe when she first started it, I was maybe like 12, I would say 12, 13.
Oh man,
So I was young.
did
I
you ever
never
get
got
to jump in the
no, I was
bouncers?
gonna say I never got to try it. I didn't actually because I was in a different state. But then she kept that going all through when I was in high school and college. And her kids were involved too. My niece and nephew, Ariel and Stevie,
Yeah.
they were
Oh
also
man.
involved in it. And her
Oh.
husband, Darren.
Oh man, that was definitely fun, man. She said she
Yes.
did for 20 years.
At least 20 years, yeah.
That's good, man. For me, my grandmother, she used to make these Oriental fans. And this is back in the day in the 70s and 80s where they used to put these fans on their
Oh, I remember
wall,
those, seeing those.
these Oriental fans, and my grandmother used to make these out of newspaper.
Oh my goodness.
So for Friday night, every Friday night, when I get out of school and I'm wanting to go party, my grandma would have me help her paint
Paint the pants.
her fans or paint the actual newspapers a certain base color so she can prep her fans
Wow, that
for
sounds
the night. So then when we're able to go outside, it's when we already helped her paint the prep for it.
okay.
So then after that, she does the gluing and the lattice and all this and that and act the real paint on the front of the fan.
That sounds amazing, and it's so nice that you got to help her personally with it.
Yeah, and
So,
exactly. And after that, Saturday, she would have us all, Saturday morning, we'll go to the flea market and we'll set all her fans out for display on the side of the road of the flea market. And people would drive in and she pretty much would sell out all her fans.
oh, that is
It
awesome.
was rare that she ever came back home with fans.
Oh yes.
Rare. If we came back, it was probably like one or two left after, out of 20.
Out of 20.
So that was the prep work sheet, and we did that for years and she was doing it before I was even knew about it. So when I went to go live with my grandmother, she was already making these fans before I lived with her. So when I got with her, she just had me help her.
She had you help her.
No one gets to live for free,
No,
right?
that's
You live
right.
with grandma, you got to go
Good
help
work.
grandma out.
That does remind me. There was actually, I guess you would say this is entrepreneurial. My mother loved having garage sales. We called them tag sales in Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
So actually, that's something that I've done since I was 8 years old. I would help her set out the clothes, all the household goods in the garage and driveway.
Oh
And
yeah.
people, so we were doing that year after year, a couple times a year.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
that is
entrepreneur.
entrepreneurial. So yeah.
Yeah. So
And I
yeah.
would be excited to make my own little money for the stuff I sold.
Exactly, man. Because you know, if you have this background, then you basically have training on entrepreneurship, even if it's yard sales, garage sales, flea markets. You have the propensity to be able to make your own business. Now, these are the bright sides of it. There's also some downsides of entrepreneurship. The reality of entrepreneurship is not everybody's going to respect you because you're not a brand name, you're not a Walmart, you're
Yes.
not a Kmart, you're not a
Target.
Is Kmart even a thing?
Well, Kmart, there's a few stores left across America, I believe, but they're slowly fading those out. And Walmart is like the big franchiser
The
now.
big dog.
The big
Okay.
dog, yeah.
Yeah, so people are not going to respect you. I remember you telling me a story about your sister and she was trying to get help with financing with her company.
Yes.
Exactly what happened with that?
Well, from what I remember, she was looking to start a building or at least a building out so she could move her bounce house business to a general business. Think of Chuck E. Cheese or fun place for kids to come to, but it's an actual structure building.
Hmm.
And I believe it was her and her best friend who lived close to her, and they were doing this together, a business venture.
Yeah.
They were there for a while. I don't know exactly how long. It just didn't pan out for long term.
Okay.
I believe it was that maybe the lease cost was too expensive or something else business operational wise.
Wow.
But they at least I was proud that she actually got to do it and see it in action. It just didn't last for a long term.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. When you're trying to build a business or you're trying to be an entrepreneur, it's a lot of things you just don't know. Like when I was doing landscaping, I started off humble beginnings. Like I wanted a video game. My mom said you got to buy the video game yourself. So I started cutting lawns. Fast forward, that led me to when I became an adult, early 20s to mid 20s, I started a landscaping company in Tampa, Florida. Very successful, grew over 80 clients, made six figures, multiple years. Um,
That's right.
but
When I first met him, he was doing the landscaping business and working
oh,
a
at that
full-time
time,
job. But
yes,
yes.
yeah. But I plateaued. I plateaued because I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know about financing. I didn't know about payroll and employees. So about time I finally started getting employees, I had two employees. About time I started getting employees, I was already burned out. I didn't want to do it anymore, and I started seeing the ROI. I was expending too much energy versus how much I was getting back in my pockets. So
Yeah.
I had to realize that I can't do that no more. So I pivoted. But now that I can reflect back and I know more now, remember I told you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
I know more now. I know exactly how to scale my company.
Yes, it's a lot more information experience now
Yes, so
with
you
that
can
side of
hit
it.
the link down below, book a coaching call with me, a free coaching call, and I can help you if you're thinking about getting into business, trucking, anything on how to help you with the next steps of your journey, guys. Hit the link down below. But yeah, so the dark side of entrepreneurship is you don't know what you don't know.
No, you don't.
And oftentimes it comes to bite you in your butt.
Yes, so you don't want it to go where you don't do any research, you're not doing enough demographic research,
Yeah.
where now you've invested tons of money, let's say thousands of dollars, and you realize, oh, this is really going to cost a lot more, or it didn't pan out like you thought. Now you spent all your savings.
Didn't pan out like you thought.
So, you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, man, it happens because when you think you're going to just blow up one day with your stuff and then you realize that damn, I don't even have the right equipment to go
Oh,
further. Like when I started landscaping, it was push mowing. Then I realized how to get the level of a bigger mower. So I got a 360. Then I had to go to the level of now I got to get a commercial
And a
lawnmower,
zero turn.
zero turn, the 360. So a bigger one to do commercial lawns because that's where the money was,
Yep.
guys. So all the research and all the things I've studied have got me to the level of knowing what to do now. And I want to express that to you guys. You can book a call with me. It might be Brainy answering it. It might be me answering it. But at the same time, we can help guys.
Yes,
Under,
we can.
we can help you guys understand what's the next steps you could do, and just build a community of people helping each other because each one teach one.
Exactly.
So guys, like, subscribe on the video, and we see you on the next one.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye bye.